It's time for Eastmont Wildcat Wrestling on the NCW Life Channel. Tonight, the Eastmont Wildcats take on the Moses Lake Chiefs. High school sports on the NCW Life Channel is brought to you by the Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. TC Slingers, they'll place the material for you. Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center. Les Schwab Tires in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee. The Windmill Restaurant in Wenatchee. And the Wenatchee Racket and Athletic Club. And now let's go Matt's side with NCW Life Sports Director Eric Granstrom.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to Eastmont High School for this Big Nine matchup between the Eastmont Wildcats and the Moses Lake Chiefs. Moses Lake coming in with a record of 6-1. Their only loss in head-to-head matchups came last week to Tijuana. Meanwhile, the Eastmont Wildcats have lost a couple of tough ones in a row on the road and here at home by 6 and by 2. And, well, only one time in school history has Eastmont knocked Moses Lake off in a head-to-head. Probably not going to happen for number 2 here tonight, but Coach Jason Erdman is celebrating senior night here for Eastmont, so we'll talk more about that. And he's giving a few seniors a chance to wrestle here against a very tough Moses Lake club. We're going to talk to the coaches when we return here, Matt's side at Eastmont High School. It's the Wildcats and the Chiefs coming up next. Big Nine Wrestling on the NCW Life Channel. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to Eastmont High School as we get ready for this matchup between the Eastmont Wildcats and the Moses Lake Chiefs. And our time to talk with Coach Jason Erdman, brought to you by TC Slingers. No need for wheelbarrows or shovels or rakes. They'll place the material for you. Well, Coach, it's been a couple of real close head-to-head here in Big Nine for you, losing just barely. Talk about the club and as you come into this very tough match tonight.
Yeah, you know, the kids have really been battling. We're pretty young this year, and we've got a lot of freshmen on the team this year. And I tell you what, there's no quit. And, you know, the last 2 matches have all been decided by one match. So West Valley, you know, was one match, and Davis was one match. And I think tonight we're going to have some great lineups tonight. You know, they're really tough in the upper weights. We're probably a little bit tougher in some of the lower weights. So, you know, hopefully we start at 26, so hopefully we can get some wins right off the bat. And then it's going to be real tough in the upper weights. They've got 4 or 5 kids that are, you know, ranked in the top 10 in state right now. So we're hoping to knock a couple of those guys off tonight. So the kids are pumped. They're ready to battle, and we're excited. So we're going to give it all we have. So it should be fun. Well,
and there's one thing about creating a culture of wrestling, creating a culture of success. Obviously, Moses Lake has that recipe down. This is where you point to your kids and say, look, this is who we want to be.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. You know, I think Moses Lake's rated number 3 in state right now. They have a great season going. And, you know, you got to beat the best to be the best. And that's what they tell the kids all the time. And so hopefully tonight they'll get to see they're wrestling one of the best in the state. And we want to see how we stack up. And what it does is if we do lose, that gives us a building block. And we know what to look for and what we want to be in the future. And we, you know, are doing those stepping stones. And we've got a great group of kids that keep battling. And I wouldn't trade them for the world. They're good kids. And they don't give up. They have a lot of heart. So it's fun.
Well, and senior night tonight, too. And I know you're getting your seniors out there to wrestle some varsity time, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight our varsity guy at heavyweight won't be wrestling tonight, Christian Tonga, but we've got him 2 JV matches tonight because he needs mat time. He's a first-year wrestler, and he just needs mat time. And, you know, I got Jared Penfold, who's a great kid that was varsity for us last year, just quite can't beat Tonga, but is a great kid. And you know what? In a recognition, Tonga gave up his spot, said, you know what, it's senior night, and I think it's the right thing to do. And he came to me and said, Coach, you know, I want Jared to step into my place tonight, and I thought it was a great thing to do. It showed a lot of character from Christian, you know, over the course of the last couple of days.
Well, Jason, thanks for the time. Enjoy tonight. Keep everybody healthy.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
You bet. Jason Erdman joining us here on the pregame show. We'll come back and get you the lineups and get you some wrestling here on the mats at Eastmont High School. It's the Wildcats and the Chiefs coming up next on the NCW Life Channel. Welcome back once again here to Eastmont High School as we are celebrating senior night here at Eastmont, and the seniors being introduced by the head wrestling coach, Jason Erdman. Thanks, Jason, for joining us here on the pregame show, brought to you by TC Slingers. No more need for wheelbarrows, shovels, or rakes. They'll place the material for you at TC Slingers. The seniors being announced, and Luis Arellano, Damian Vivanco, Landon McClune, Josh Hill, Brett Womack, Jared Penfold, all seniors this year. Also Flora Morrow out there being introduced along with parents, because the parents are just as important as anybody else, because they got to get them to practice, home from practice, to the tournaments, supporting them all the way around. And so the parents just as important as the athletes out here on the mats as well on the senior night here at Eastmont High School. By the way, wanted to wish a speedy recovery to Hugh Chang. He's the girls coach. He is in the hospital right now, had surgery to help him with a blockage, according to athletic director Russ Waterman. He might even be sitting in the hospital watching right now. So Hugh, get better, buddy, and sorry that you're not here tonight as they announce the lineups here. This is a week that we have, or the school districts have been saying thank you to the officials, and that's a little presentation that Russ Waterman's doing right now here as the booster clubs give a little thank you to the officials. Our official for the varsity match here is Eric Strode, and thanks to Eric for his work throughout the years as a long-time wrestling official. A reminder, our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee at Leavenworth. Take a walk on the wild side at Wenatchee Valley YMCA for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. That is the YMCA. Well, let's take a look at the lineups as they're announced here. We're going to start with the draw at 126 pounds. They're doing the announcements by weight, so we'll do that too. Melanie Flores at 106 pounds, getting a win by forfeit for Moses Lake at 106 pounds, so the junior will get the win. 113 pounds, Jonathan Tanguma for Moses Lake. A freshman will take on also freshman for Eastmont, Jesus Hurtado. That's at 113 pounds. At 120, it's a sophomore Ryan Grubb for the Chiefs taking on German Jimenez at 120 pounds for Eastmont. He is a junior. At 126 pounds, that's where we'll actually start the match here tonight on the draw. For Moses Lake, it'll be another freshman, Cameron Reagan, going up against Luis Arellano. Arellano, a senior, at 126 pounds. At 132 pounds for Moses Lake, a freshman, Carson Voss, against Damian Vivanco, a freshman for Eastmont. 138-pound match will be Chase Flores, a junior for Moses Lake, going up against Cesar Sidio. At 138 pounds, Cesar, a junior for the Eastmont Wildcats. Landon McClune at 145 pounds for Eastmont, a junior, will get a forfeit tonight win. The Chiefs not able to fill that weight here this evening at 145 pounds. At 152 for the Chiefs, that'll be Levi Carlos, a junior, taking on Cesar Mendoza, also a junior for Eastmont. That's at 152. At 160, should be an interesting one here. We've got a senior versus a freshman. For the Chiefs, BJ Mullen will take on Skylar Daw, a freshman for the Eastmont Wildcats. At 170, a couple of seniors will meet tonight in Hunter Cruz for the Chiefs and Josh Hill celebrating senior night here for Eastmont. At 182 pounds, it's senior Bo Mouseth for Moses Lake going up against the senior Brett Womack for Eastmont. At 195, it is a senior for Moses Lake, Bailey Sanchez, taking on the freshman Luke Harrison for Eastmont. At 220, Peyton Castro for the Chiefs will battle against a junior, Nathan Holterhoff, for Eastmont. That's at 220. By the way, Castro, a senior. And then finally at 285, it'll be the senior Pablo Mejia for Moses Lake taking on Jared Penfold, a senior for the Eastmont Wildcats. And you heard in our pregame show the fact that the normal wrestler Christian Tonga there at heavyweight, saying that he's going to tie off the cap to Jared Penfold and let him wrestle on senior night here tonight. We'll come back with our first match next on the NCW Live Channel after this 30-second timeout. national anthem taken care of here tonight prior to this wrestling match between Eastmont, coming in with a record of 1-3. 1-3 on the season. Moses Lake 4-0 and Big Nine Wrestling 6-1 overall. The head coach for Moses Lake is Jaime Garza. He's assisted by Ariel Garza, Ron Seibel, Mitch Reffett, Jose Tanguma, and Dylan Morris. Meanwhile, the Eastmont Wildcats are head coached by Jason Erdman. He's assisted by Dave DeLong, Tyler McGee, Matt Prazer, Scott Womack, and Blaine Vandehe. Eastmont, Moses Lake here tonight on the NCW Life Channel, and it's brought to you in part by Walkabout Grill and Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk on the wild side. The Wenatchee Valley YMCA for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. It is the YMCA. The Windmill Restaurant and Wenatchee Racket and Athletic Club, and we hope for it not to happen, but should it, our injury timeouts brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries. Eric Strode is our official for tonight.
Anybody that needs to know, Eastmont is red on my wrist.
Eastmont will be red on the wristband of our official. Green will be Moses Lake. And our first match at 126 pounds will be Cameron Reagan for Moses Lake against Luis Arellano for Eastmont. Well, we talked a little bit with Coach Erdman before the match tonight about a level of commitment and a level of excellence and creating a culture of champions. And that's certainly what Moses Lake has done over the years. Since 1957, Moses Lake 17 state championships, 13 second place finishes. Going back to 1957, most recent championship coming at the Tacoma Dome just a couple of years ago in 2016. Garcia, second place last year, first place in 2015 for the Moses Lake Chiefs. So we're just about ready to go here. Eastmont with the red singlets, Moses Lake with the maroon singlets trimmed in white and yellow with the gold Chiefs written across the chest, as Cameron Reagan, the freshman out there, taking on Luis Arellano, the senior for Eastmont, as we're ready to go here on the NCW Life Channel. Thanks for joining us with live wrestling here tonight on this Tuesday. Whistle sounds, and we are underway as both wrestlers on their feet to start. You'll notice if you're checking out our floor camera, the wrestling in the background to the mat to our left is the junior varsity matches going on at the same time as the varsity matches here at Eastmont High School. Eastmont varsity wrestlers and the coaching staff across the way from us here at the across the mat from the scorer's table. Moses Lake to the far right of the gymnasium as you look at it here on the NCW Life Channel. So Reagan, Arellano feeling each other out here to start this match, and Coach Erdman with some hope for high things here in the early going in these lower weights for Eastmont. It's a good shoot by Arellano, but good counter by Reagan. So the two wrestlers back up, separate, and then tie up once again. Arellano trying to throw him by. Good feet by Reagan, the freshman. 126-pound bout. First round just underway here at Eastmont High School. Appreciate you joining us on the NCW Life Channel. Eric Grandstrom with you. We've got Michael Price and Jessica Medina on the cameras tonight. Becca Freemuth back in the studios, making sure we get on the air tonight. January is here. Before you know it, it'll be time to think about MAC Classic 30 in Tacoma. We'll talk more about the history of wrestling here in the state of Washington as we continue tonight as well on the NCW Life Channel. I talked to my dad on the phone earlier today. Unfortunately, wasn't able to join us for the broadcast. There's Arellano with a takedown, and 2 points for Luis Arellano. First points of the match with just 12 seconds left here in the first period. Arellano with the 2-0 lead over Cameron Reagan. And that's the end of our first period with Arellano on top 2-0. The choice for Moses Lake here in our first match, and he will choose to have both wrestlers on their feet. So Cameron Reagan says, I want to try my chance again at a takedown. Arellano toes the line, and whistle sounds. We're ready to go here for the second round. Make that 3 2-minute rounds in high school wrestling. If there's a bloody nose or some sort of an injury, they do have an injury clock. You get 5 minutes on the injury clock total for the match. If it takes longer than 5 minutes total run time for you to have that injury addressed, whatever it might be, then you end up forfeiting the match. Eastmont, one time in school history, has defeated Moses Lake in a head-to-head. Arellano with the shot there, but a great counter by Reagan. And Arellano, just with his height and his length, able to scramble around and get 2 points on the takedown. There's a release and an escape for Reagan. So it's a 4-1 contest. Arellano on top. And a good single leg there. Might be able to take him right to some near fall points if he's able to hold on to that arm with a good single leg. And I don't think Eric Strode's going to give him any near fall points there. But 2 on the takedown. It's 6-1. Arellano on top. Under a minute to go here in the second round. Arellano off to the side as Reagan tries to stand up here. Looking maybe to pick that hand inside and step into him, but Arellano right there looking for the cradle, but instead Reagan just steps out of it, gets an escape. It's a 6-2 contest with 25 seconds left here in the first round, or second round that is. Arellano with the counter after Reagan with the shoot. Trying to find a leg, but Arellano just so much lankier, so long, able to counter that nicely. Just 5 seconds left in the round as Arellano and Reagan work near the out-of-bounds circle near the Moses Lake bench. And that will be the end of round number 2 with Arellano on top 6-2. Arellano will choose down here for the start of round number 3. Arellano trying to adjust his chin strap here. It looks like it came separated for a moment, so he'll get that readjusted, get it comfortable on his chin before he takes the down position. 126 pounds, our first match of the night between Eastmont and Wenatchee. Hard ride by Cameron Reagan. Got that hand shot in there. Got it barred up. Trying to go around. Got a little bit too high here. Arellano stands up. Trying to get away. Got the arm away. Now cross face. Reagan holding on to that leg. He does not want to give up that leg. And the official's going to watch. Make sure it's not a dangerous hold here. Arellano back to his feet. Reagan back to his feet. He's got the whizzer in. Trying to hold on for dear life. And he's going to get one here at least, and he does. Arellano with the escape. He now leads it 7-2 over Cameron Reagan. Senior versus freshman in this first match of the night here at 126 pounds. Hand drag there for Arellano. Both wrestlers feeling that burn here as we get midway through the third round. Arellano hand fighting with Reagan. Looking for another opportunity with a minute to go. You hear Jaime Garza in the background trying to bark out instructions to his wrestler. Flattens out as Arellano has both the legs. Doesn't have them very well though. And now Reagan locked his hands for a minute, reaching around. Couldn't get the whizzer in, and we're real close to a 2-point takedown. It is 2-point takedown for Luis Arellano with 33 seconds left. So if he can hang on here, leads at 9-2. Going to give Eastmont a win here in our first match of the night. Reagan on the bottom. Luis Arellano on top for Eastmont. 17 seconds left. Still trying to work a ride here from the top position. The only points gained by the freshman have been escapes, and here he comes to his feet looking for another escape with 8 seconds left in the round, and picking him up, putting him back down to the mat is Arellano, but quickly back to his feet is Reagan. Reagan spins and gets 1-point escape at the buzzer, and so the final score will be Luis Arellano getting the victory, 9-3 in a decision here over the Moses Lake Chiefs' Cameron Reagan. So Eastmont with the first points of the match, and we'll go to 132 pounds now with Carson Voss for Moses Lake, a freshman facing Damian Vivanco, the freshman for Eastmont. They were keeping score on the main scoreboard on the main area instead of under the wrestling individual match.
So there we go. Eastmont on top, 3-0 after that first match. So here we go, a couple of freshmen at 132 pounds. Vivanco in the red singlet and Voss in the maroon singlet as they near the out-of-bounds stripe on the far side. Away from the scorer's table here where we have our broadcast location. So Vivanco says, all right, I'll back up here. The shot by Voss. Has one leg. He's got his head down. Now he picks it up, gets to his feet. And see how the counter goes for Vivanco. Gets his leg out to the side. Trying to break the hands there of Voss. He is Vivanco. Voss goes for the trip with that single leg. Vivanco, good balance right there. Hop it around on his left foot. And trying to step him out of bounds. No advantage for either wrestler, so they'll both be up here with 1:09 to go in this first period. Damian Vivanco and Carson Voss. Voss shake it up on that move out of bounds here. And we're going to get an injury timeout for Moses Lake, and Coach Jaime Garza will go over and check on his wrestler, Carson Voss. Our injury timeout here on the broadcast brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries. That's Confluence Health. We appreciate their sponsorship and support of sports here on the NCW Life channel. So a quick timeout, and we're back to wrestling here at 132 pounds with 1:05 to go. Another single leg by Voss as he gets it up, trying to bring him back to the mat. Vivanco trying to avoid the trip, and then Voss took himself right down to his back. Going to get a 2-point takedown and maybe some near fall points here for Damian Vivanco. It is a takedown for Vivanco. He leads it 2-0. Over Carson Voss. Voss just lost his balance there. Trying to pick up on the single leg. Lost his balance, went right to his back. He's got the far arm barred, does Vivanco. Now trying to get the wrist. Needs to break his waist down, though. Does Damian Vivanco from the top position. 25 seconds left here in period number 1. Vivanco has that arm barred up. Let's see what he's going to try to do with it. He wants to go double arm bar, but that would work better if he had the wrestler beneath him broken down. He's got both arms barred up. He's going to be able to tip him here with 8 seconds left in the round. And Vivanco sitting out with both arms barred. Is he going to get the pin? Time winding down, and that'll be the end of the first round. And a 3-point near fall for Damian Vivanco right before the buzzer. He'll lead at 5-0 as we head to the second round. He will defer his choice to the third round, so he'll give Carson Voss the choice here. So the freshman will choose up. And so Vivanco will be in the down position here to start round number 2. Well, I didn't think he honestly was going to be able to get that done, but good job, Damian Vivanco. Got double arms barred up and was able to get some tip points right before the end of round number 1. So here we go, round 2. Vivanco on the bottom, seeing what Voss is going to apply, or at least attempt to apply from the up position. Right now, not a lot of action happening as Voss broke down the hips of Damian Vivanco. Vivanco hand fighting underneath. There's a leg shot in by Voss. Vivanco quickly stretches that left leg out, trying to possibly get to his feet here. Carson Voss for Moses Lake reaching across, trying to, and they're going to call a stall warning on Vivanco, so he'll step up, step through, step across, cross face, and a 2-point reversal for Damian Vivanco. 7-0 Vivanco on top. Look out, he's going to possibly pull Voss right back on top of himself. Voss reaching down, reaching for a foot, can't get it. And now Vivanco better position from top, but Voss up to his feet, and then tripping him down was Vivanco. The two go out of bounds, so it'll be back to the center mat with Vivanco on top. 7-0 here in our second match of the night at 132 pounds. Vivanco breathing heavily as the official says, okay, let's wrestle. Whistle sounds. Switches side from right to left. Now he's got that waist ride with the left hand wrapped all the way around with that long, lanky arm there. Trying to break him down with the right hand reaching up to his head. going with a power half. Wasn't able to keep that. Hand fight underneath as Voss continues to work in the bottom position. Now Vivanco has that left arm barred up. He's got the right wrist locked up. Let's see if he's going to try to wing it back. He does. Gets him locked up. Double arm bar. Now the official has to watch carefully here for a dangerous hold. He tries to walk him over. He gets him walked over again. A lot of time. 7 seconds left. Tipping him, looking for the pin. Left shoulder not quite on the mat. 2 seconds, 1 second left, and 3 more near fall points coming for Damian Vivanco right before the end of round number 2, and with a big advantage here, 10-0 over Carson Voss. Vivanco is going to choose down here, as that turns out to be a good choice for him to defer to the 3rd round. So a great match so far for Damian Vivanco, the freshman for Eastmont, leading it 10-0 over Carson Voss. Now he just needs to not make a mistake here in this 3rd round. Find himself checking out the lights here. And the clock, hold on, they didn't start the clock correctly. And so we get a time called. Should be about 10 seconds gone in this 3rd period, as Coach Jason Erdman comes out to talk to Eric Strode. Eric's going to go over and visit with the Moses Lake coaching staff. And so they're going to start the clock here and run a few seconds off. I think about 10 seconds should have been gone out of this period. So Eric Strode will visit with the wrestlers and say, okay, yep, 10 seconds off. It's 1:50 to go here in the 3rd, with Vivanco on top 10-0 as Eastmont leads the match 3-0. Whistle sounds, not a lot of movement from the bottom by Vivanco. We saw that in the 2nd round until the official gave him a stall warning, and then suddenly Vivanco just stepped around, got the reversal, and then some near fall points before the end of the round. Vivanco again, not a lot of movement from the bottom. He's got to watch for stall warning here. Carson Voss working on top, doing what he can as he grabs the wrists, breaks down the hips again to Vivanco with 1:17 left here in the match. Vivanco on top, 10-0. Vivanco trying to get to his feet and then ridden down again over near the out-of-bounds circle on the far side. And they're going to say a stalemate, says Eric Strode, our official. And so both wrestlers will rise to their feet. Vivanco will again take the down position here, leading it 10-0 over Carson Voss. We've got our 138-pound match coming up next. Our official blows the whistle again quickly, and a caution warning given to Voss for Moses Lake because Vivanco wasn't quite ready to go yet. And Voss started a little bit early. Now the whistle sounds. Good start this time, and breaking the hips down again of Vivanco is Voss. Vivanco back to his knees, back to his base with 57 seconds left. Got to watch out there, and illegal hold as he had both legs wrapped up, and no points given to Vivanco here. Just a dangerous hold. And now the whistle sounds with 51 seconds left. To his feet, Vivanco again quickly reaching back for the head. Got to be careful here as he tries to get himself free. He does, and it's an 11-0 lead now for Vivanco. He shoots. Nice deep shot on the single leg, but a fairly decent counter by Carson Voss. Voss trying to take him down out of the mat. No position gain. They were both out of bounds. Clock stops with 30.9 seconds left here in the match. Great match for the freshman, Damian Vivanco, for Eastmont. A shot by Voss at the whistle. Got that leg again. Now Voss with a counter. Hits that whizzer in there. Keeps the leg on the outside. Good form there for the freshman wrestler from Eastmont. Just trying to keep his balance. And puts his hand down. Gets the power half with 10 seconds left. And it's going to cover the hips and get a 2-point takedown. 13-0. Damian Voss on top. Or excuse me, Damian Vivanco. And timeout going to be whistled to see. There's 0.2 seconds left. He's just going to give the match, and he will here to Damian Vivanco. So 13-0. Eastmont's Damian Vivanco with the win over Carson Voss of Moses Lake. So good job for the freshman for Eastmont, and that major victory gives Eastmont 4 points on the team score. So now they lead Moses Lake 7-0. We are to the 138-pound match. It'll be Chase Flores, a junior for Moses Lake, going up against Cesar Sidio, the junior for Eastmont. This should be a good one here. Sidio and Flores. Sidio. Hand fighting, shoots in, grabs that single leg, tips him over, knocks him down, and a 2-point takedown for Cesar Sidio. Sidio trying to get that arm, breaks his hips down again as Flores got to his base momentarily. Sidio looking for that left arm. Gonna hammerlock it. Oh, tried to anyway. Couldn't get it. Now trying to break him down again. Sidio doing a good job with his positioning here. Trying to keep his hips above the hips of Chase Flores. With 1:05 to go here in the first quarter. 2-0. Eastmont on top. Now he's got that arm barred up. Let's see what he's going to try to do with it. Good counter by Flores. You get to one arm barred up, and then now he's got both arms barred up. He's got them locked up with 50 seconds to go. Now let's see if Sidio can walk it around. Just got to watch those hands, make sure they don't get up too high towards the neck. He tips Flores for a moment. He's got to walk a little bit farther. He gets him tipped up here. Now it's a matter of balance and arch. Arching is Voss. Sidio with the balance. If he can get his hip around and then turn his head up, that will apply pressure. He's going to watch that arm. Don't get him a chicken wing there with 18 seconds left. He should get near fall points, and it will be a 3-point near fall for Sidio. He leads it 5-0. So how about Eastmont with the early advantage over Moses Lake? Sidio again bars that arm up. Watch it, watch it. Trying to get him tipped again with under a second to go. I don't know if he's going to get a near fall point or not. He will get a 2-point near fall just before the buzzer. And so Cesar Sidio leads 7-0 after our first period. As we head to the second, it'll be Moses Lake choice. And they'll defer Will Flores. So Sidio with the choice here. He'll take down. We've got a ladies match going on the JV match across the way. And the whistle sounds here to start the second, and a nice roll and a 2-point reversal by Cesar Sidio. Boy, it's been a while since I've seen that roll. He did a great job of executing it to get the reversal. Again, quickly with the arm barred up as he's got that opposite arm all the way around the waist with that long reach. And now looking for a pin here in the second round. He got it. Cesar Sidio with a pin. 1:33 remaining in the second. Cesar Sidio with the pin and gives Eastmont the lead over Moses Lake now 13-0. So 3 matches in, 3 wins for the Eastmont Wildcats. They'll get another one here in the 4th match because it will be a forfeit for 145-pounder Landon McClune. So Landon will get 6 more points for Eastmont as the Wildcats jump out to a 19-0 lead here over Moses Lake. Our broadcast brought to you in part by the Wenatchee Racquet and Athletic Club and the Windmill Restaurant. Also by the Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk of the wild side. And the Wenatchee Valley YMCA for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. It's the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. So we will go to 152 pounds. A couple of juniors next up on the docket. For Moses Lake, it'll be Levi Carlos. And for Eastmont, Cesar Mendoza. The Moses Lake club having a little huddle over there around Coach Jaime Garza. So this might be where the match takes a little turn in a different direction. But we'll see about that. Levi Carlos for Moses Lake, Cesar Mendoza for Eastmont. 19-0 Eastmont on top on the scoreboard. Eric Strode checking with the Moses Lake radio broadcast crew to see if they're ready to go. So everybody's ready. Here we go. And watch out for Levi Carlos. Excellent wrestler with the throw attempts. And Mendoza trying to get behind the hips. And he does. 2-point takedown for Cesar Mendoza on the mistake here by Levi Carlos. Carlos to his feet. Looking for the escape. Hand fight, hand fight, hand fight. Following is Mendoza. Spinning away is Carlos for the 1-point escape. 2-1. Mendoza with the lead. And again, Carlos looking for the throw. Gets the throw down. Now looking for the head and arm. And trying to wrap up this match quickly here in the first round. It is Levi Carlos with the advantage here. He's got the 2-point takedown. He leads it now 3-2, looking for 16 points if he can get a pin. Cesar Mendoza doing all he can to stay alive, keep his shoulders off the mat. He's got a minute to go. That's forever. Right now, Levi Carlos with the advantage, getting his breath on top. Reefing on that head, trying to get his shoulders down to the mat. Mendoza arcing, and still able to keep that right shoulder up for the time being, or left shoulder, excuse me. Carlos reefing even further. Got to watch it so he can still breathe. Official's got to keep his eye on so many things right here. Mendoza arching again. Reefing towards the ceiling is Levi Carlos. He's an inch away, and there's a pin. With 21 seconds remaining in the first round. It's Levi Carlos winning by pin. So Moses Lake gets their first team points here as they now trail it 19-6. That'll bring up our 160-pound match. BJ Mullen, a senior for Moses Lake, against Skylar Daw, the freshman for Eastmont. Appreciate you joining us on the NCW Life channel. Eric Granstrom with you as we bring you live wrestling action here tonight. Eric Strode gets the thumbs up from the scorer's table. So here we go, senior versus freshman. Skylar Daw has his hands full here with this Moses Lake Chief. And Mullen with the single leg takes him down to the mat. 2-point takedown and more. They're going to say they're out of bounds. It is a 2-point takedown and a 2-point near fall. 4-0, Mullen on top. And we've got a bloody nose. So a timeout here taken on the mat. Our injury timeout brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all your sports-related injuries. That's Confluence Health. We're talking about Moses Lake and its 30 first and second place finishes in the state championship dating back to 1957. It all began in 1953 in the state of Washington with a wrestling started really with the help of my alma mater at Cedar Woolley High School and Bo Campbell getting things going here in the state of Washington. They did not have classifications from 53 to 67. It was in 1968 the first time that they went into different classifications, 1A and 2A. And Moses Lake winning that state championship in 1968 when they went to the classifications. That was after they'd already won 7 state championships prior to that without classifications. So the match back underway here, minute 30 to go in this first period as BJ Mullen leads Eastmont's Skylar Daw by a score of 4-0 with a minute 22 to go. Daw working from the bottom here. Mullen trying to do what he can from the top position. Hand fighting going on. Can't tell if he's got that arm barred up. He does on the far side. So he's got the left arm barred. Now he's looking for the wrist on the right side. Now he comes around looking to bar up both. Reaching around with the leg, trying possibly. Now he's got both arms barred up. Look out, 56 seconds left. This is a pinning move for sure for BJ Mullen with the tip. Now the sit out, and that's so hard on your shoulders if you're that wrestler in the awkward position. Skylar Daw spins out of it at 3-point near fall. It's a 7-0 lead here for BJ Mullen. Mullen again tying those hands up underneath. He's got the wrist right underneath what you can't really see here on the mat as he reaches around with that right hand and ties up the left wrist of the bottom wrestler, Skylar Daw, and then trying to spin him over the top, and Daw with a good counter there. Now he's trying to go with some more tip points, step through with a leg. Now he shoots the half with 12 seconds left. Another possible pinning move. Now trying to reach for that arm to bar it up and gain the advantage. Daw doing a good job of holding his own on the bottom, but now getting tipped again with 1 second left. They're going to give it another 3-point near fall, I believe. It is a 3-point near fall. So after the first period, it is a 10-0 lead for B.J. Mullen, the senior, over the freshman Skylar Daw for Eastmont at 160 pounds. Daw with the choice chooses up here over B.J. Mullen. Official tells Daw to go ahead and ready himself, and quickly to his feet is Mullen. Mullen reaching back as he got to his feet, then comes down, then pops back up again. Very quick on his feet, explosive from the down position. We're going to get a 1 point given to Mullen on an illegal hold, locking the hands on the mat. Whistle against Skylar Daw. It's now 12-0. And the 1 point escape here. A shoot by Mullen. Got both legs in deep. Reaching up for the arm and the 2-point takedown. It's 14-0. We're about to a technical fall here for B.J. Mullen. Skylar Daw on the bottom for Eastmont. We said he was going to be in tough with his match here at 160 pounds against the senior from Moses Lake. Lots of experience. Lots of mat time for B.J. Mullen. Mullen seeing what he could try to do next year as he reaches up, grabs the left hand, left arm, and tried to stick his head in there. 1 minute to go as the wrestlers go out of bounds. Clock stops in this 160-pound match. 14-0 B.J. Mullen on top here in this match with Skylar Daw. Both wrestlers ready. Whistle sounds. Breaking down the hips of Skylar Dawes, B.J. Mullen. Mullen reaching, trying to reef that arm free. And Daw doing a pretty good job of saying, no, I don't want you to have it. He's trying to bar it up here on the left side with 40 seconds left in the period. Daw doing all he can, but here goes some more near fall points. At least 2 staying moves, so it'll be a 3 near fall here for Mullen on top. And unless he pins him here, this match could come to an end. 21 seconds left here in the second period. And that 3-point near fall is going to be it. And that's a 17 points lead. And that's a technical fall here for B.J. Mullen. So B.J. Mullen will get the win at 160 pounds for Moses Lake. That will make our team score 19-11. As we head to 170 pounds, it's Hunter Cruz for Moses Lake, a senior, against senior Josh Hill for Eastmont. This should be good. Hunter Cruz reaches in tight, tries to bring Josh Hill in for the throw, trying to set up a throw here. Now he trips him. Josh falls back to the mat. 2-point takedown for Hunter Cruz. Immediately goes and bars the arm up before Josh Hill knows what is happening. Very quick movement on top. And now freestyle move there. Half is in, and he's got the other arm barred up. Looking for the pin here is Hunter Cruz. And Josh Hill sees that he's got the out of bounds stripe right there, so he's going to go out of bounds at a 3-point near fall. Going to be given here to Hunter Cruz as well. So he leads it 5-0. Josh Hill thought maybe he'd gain an escape there, but no, the official Eric Strode says you're close but not quite. And Hunter Cruz going to put both hands on his back. Josh Hill spins to face him. Now Josh to his feet. Cruz breaking him back down to the mat. Tried to reach across, maybe try to get a near side cradle. Instead working on the Trying to bar that arm up again on the near side. Now reaching through the legs, maybe trying to go that route. Instead, he's just going to turn Josh Hill loose. 5-1 the score with the escape here for Hill. Arm drag, fireman's carry, Granby roll, nice. Down to the mat again with the 2-point takedown. It's Hunter Cruz. We got blood on his face here. Not sure if that's coming from him or coming from Josh Hill, but we have more near fall points. It's 10-1 as Cruz leads it. I don't know if our official Eric Strode saw the blood or not, but he had blood, Hunter Cruz, on the bridge of his nose. So we'll see at the end of the round here. 16 seconds left in the round. See if the official sees that blood before. Now a roll here for Hunter Cruz, looking for exposure points again. Hill trying to roll, keep himself off the mat. Eric Strode will say 3-point near fall as well. 13-0 our score after the end of the first round. Hunter Cruz given his choice here, and he will choose down. 19-11 our team score. And the coaching staff across the way, Dave DeLong, says, no, just let him up. So it's a 1-point escape. 13-2 our score. The scoreboard says 13-2 now. I don't know about the 2 for Josh Hill, but I guess maybe he did get 2 escapes. And now here's another throw by Hunter Cruz. And right back, Josh Hill finding himself in a dangerous position here, as Hill just really reefing to try to get himself free here. With 1:30 left in the second round, long way to go, and now 3-point near fall, and that's going to be the match here. 17-1 the score as Hunter Cruz gets the win over Josh Hill. Another technical fall for the Moses Lake Chiefs. This comes in the second round of this 170-pound match. And that 5 points for Moses Lake will make it 16-19 and the team score standing. The official comes over for a break of water. Reminder, we're coming to you from Eastmont High School tonight here on the NCW Life Channel on Channel 12 Local Tel, Channel 19 on Charter, over the air at 47.1, and streaming live always on our website at ncwlife.com. 182-pound match here is what's up next. Bo Mouseth for Moses Lake against Brett Womack for Eastmont. Official checks, make sure everybody's ready to go, and here we go. Brett, a senior, Bo, a senior. The two have probably seen each other a few times over the last several years. Mouseth just has that wrestle body to him. Just looks like a wrestler from the word go. See how Brett Womack can fare against the Chief here at 182 pounds. I wonder if we'll be looking for some throws possibly. Both wrestlers on their feet trying to feel each other out here in this first round. Mouseth reaching out. Womack with the counter. Coach Jason Erdman in our senior night here before the match was describing Womack as a kid that just works harder than anybody else at the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's just his routine. Mouseth putting the pressure on Womack. Womack with the arm drag, but they're too close to the out-of-bounds stripe. So Eric Strode says, let's head back to the middle here with 56 seconds left in the period. Mouseth with the advance. Womack hand fights the reach for the head. That reach for the head, I thought maybe he'd try to shoot him. Nice job on the counter there, as Mouseth had the advantage, but nice whizzer there put in by Womack. He's able to counter it, but Mouseth keeps reaching for the head there. I kept maybe expecting Womack to throw that arm up, try to circle around it. 182 pounders, both very athletic looking young men on the mat for both teams. Double shot there for Mouseth. Now in deep, but a nice counter by Womack. Good job to get himself out of that. Now Womack with the shot. Had both legs, and now the counter by Mouseth. Mouseth reaching around, looking for the ankle, trying to get the coverage here. But And they're going to give it to him. He will. 2-point takedown for Mouseth with 3 seconds left in the first period. Womack hanging on to that leg and trails it here 2-0 at the end of the first round. In our 182-pound match tonight on the NCW Life Channel. Womack defers, and so Mouseth will take down. Great start to this match here with Mouseth leading Womack 2-0. Start the second. Quickly to his feet, but quickly with the counter is Womack. Womack now trailing, trying to get out of bounds. No advantage or escape for Mouseth, so they'll head back to the mat. And Bo Mouseth on the bottom position. Womack adjusts the brace on his right knee, will lean down on that right knee and then reach around with the left hand, but quickly to his feet was Mouseth, and Womack can't follow him here. So an escape for Mouseth. He leads it 3-0 over Brent Womack for the Eastmont Wildcats here on senior night. The senior doing all he can at 182 pounds. Now Mouseth, instead of just reaching out for the head, Womack says, all right, let's put our heads together. So they do. Watch for, went to the fireman's carry there. Keeps a single leg, now lifting high with the elevator. See how Womack can counter. Official, meanwhile, looking to make sure everybody's safe. And the follow and a 2-point takedown for Mouseth. 5-0. Mouseth on top of Womack. 56 seconds left here in the period as the wrestlers are near the out-of-bounds stripe. Both wrestlers then start to stand up, and both are standing out of bounds, so it is out. And they'll head back to the center mat here with Womack trailing at 5-0. 19-16, Eastmont on top after winning the first 4 matches, but the last 3 have all gone the way of Moses Lake with a pin and 2 technical falls. Womack trying to get to his feet. Mouseth counters. Womack again to his feet. Mouseth trying to hold on to that right leg with his own knees. And now the wrist ride and the turn against Womack. Womack fighting it. He did get exposure points here. 2-point near fall is going to be given to Mouseth. He now leads it 7-0 with 25 seconds left in the period. Second round here at 182 pounds. Womack gonna maybe just try to collect his breath here for the final 13 seconds and not give up any more points. Mouseth still working on top. He's got that wrist now reaching through the legs, trying to get that wrist as well, maybe to get a tip here. Now look for the far side cradle. Womack with a counter. That's the end of period number 2. So Womack will choose both wrestlers to be up here, trailing at 7-0 to Bo Mouseth in this 182-pound match. And a quick shot for Mouseth. The counter by Womack. Got the whizzer in, but he can't get that leg free, and so he's going to be tumbled down to the mat for a 2-point takedown. As both wrestlers go out of bounds, it'll be Mouseth on top here as he now leads it 8-0.
Good takedown, Mouseth.
195-pound matchup next, senior versus freshman. And now the official Eric Strode wants to come over here to the scores table, make sure that we are correct with 1:49 left here in the third. 8-0 is our score. Oh, now 10. Okay, they didn't get that last 2-point takedown. So 10-0 now the score. As Womack basically going to have to get a escape and a throw or a reversal right to Mouseth's back. But that's a hard pill to swallow right now for Womack. To his feet again. Spins. All right, he's got the 1-point escape. 10-1. Now got to look for a throw with 1:35 left here in the match. Trailing at 10-1. Womack with the shot by Mouseth. Counter by Womack. Got the whizzer in. Look for the fireman. Missed the leg. Now finding himself on the bottom Mouseth trying to cover here, got the 2-point takedown. Great idea by Brett Womack, but he just missed the leg on the fireman's carry. 12-1 the score, minute 12 left. The leg in for Mouseth, but Womack has his arm back. Now the crossface, trying to go for the power Nelson with that leg in. Now he's got both legs shot in. Again, looking for a wrist or looking for something as Mouseth on top. 50 seconds left here in the match. 12-1. Bo Mouseth in control. Womack again trying to fight to his feet. Reached back, grabbed the arm, maybe thought about a roll on Mouseth on top, but Mouseth just really good with the counter. Now he's going to go for a tip here, steps a leg through. 28 seconds left, looking for more points here. And Womack not quite tipped according to the official, not quite tipped, and now he is, but not long enough to get any points. Now he starts counting, so he's got at least a 2-point near fall. Still the same ride in with 9 seconds, with 8, with 7. Mouseth crossface and then reaches back. He had the half there. Womack with a hand in the face. It is a 2-point near fall. And so the final score will be 14-1. Bo Mouseth with the victory over Brett Womack at 182 pounds. So that will give Moses Lake the lead here. 21-19 with back-to-back wins by pin and 2 technical falls, as they give 5 more teammates to the Chiefs. And now we head to 195 pounds. Bailey Sanchez, a senior for Moses Lake, and a freshman Luke Harrison going for Eastmont. Team score
should be only 14 points.
Says 19-21 up there right now with Moses Lake on top. They gave 5 points for that victory. 14-1 is not a technical fall, so it should be 4 points. So it should be 20-19, I believe. It is. Okay, so they will check that. And not a technical fall. So 20-19 the team scores, and now we're ready to go here for this 195-pound match. Sanchez for Moses Lake and the freshman Harrison for Eastmont, and Sanchez gets the takedown and has a 2-point lead. Senior versus freshman. We'll see how the freshman Luke Harrison does, working from the bottom here against Bailey Sanchez. Obviously, Moses Lake likes to bar it up. That's what just about every wrestler is trying to do here so far. He's got the left arm barred, had the right wrist ridden. Now he pulls back. Got both arms pulled back behind Luke Harrison. And he'll post the hand behind the head and now reverse it and try to bring him back. He's kind of a little off balance there, and now he's able to get the near fall points and possibly more than that with 58 seconds left in the first period. Now the roll by Harrison underneath, trying to keep himself alive, and got to watch that neck. Wrestler on top, Bailey Sanchez, looking for a different hold here. He doesn't have the neck, doesn't have the head, so he's got to do something a little different. And he's got the far side half shot in, and now he can get back to work here with 30 seconds left in the round, and looking for a pinning move here, and it is. Fighting underneath is Luke Harrison, trying to keep himself alive. He will not, with 17.8 seconds left in the first round. Win by pin for Bailey Sanchez. And now it is 26-19 Chiefs on top as we head to a 220-pound match. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk of the wild side. And the Wenatchee Valley YMCA for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. It is the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. Working towards Matt Classic 30 in Tacoma. 92 was the first time Moses Lake captured a second place finish in Tacoma. Prior to that, 3 seconds and a first at Central Washington in the 80s when the state tournament was held at Central Washington University in Ellensburg. 2-point takedown for Peyton Castro against Nathan Holterhoff here in our 220-pound match. With 1.5 minutes left of the first round. Senior versus junior here. Castro the senior. And now he's got him cradled up looking for the pin, and he will. With 1:23 remaining in the first round. And that was quick work there by Peyton Castro. The third pin of the night here for Moses Lake straight. And it's now a 31-19 contest with the Chiefs on top. Excuse me, 32-19. With the 6 points given for the pin, and we'll go to 285 pounds here. We mentioned Christian Tonga, the 285-pound varsity wrestler, went to Coach Erdman and said, you know what, Jared Penfold's a senior. He had this varsity position before I got here. Let him wrestle senior night on the varsity mat. So he is against Pablo Mejia, that is, for Moses Lake. Penfold Mejia, our 285-pound match here tonight. Then we'll go back to the lightweights at 106, 113, and 120. Just 4 matches left here tonight on the NCW Life Channel. A spin, and Penfold looking for the takedown. Got it. Jared Penfold with a 2-point takedown here on senior nights at 285 pounds. Leads it 2-0 over Pablo Mejia. Mejia trying to stand up. Penfold a little bit too high. Got to watch himself here. Penfold trying to hold on to that arm, and a 2-point reversal given to Mejia. We're tied at 2. Mejia breaks Penfold down. Penfold reaches up, looks for a leg. And look out for that arm as he tries to bar him up on the near side. Penfold gets back to his base. Mejia breaks him down with 54 seconds left here in the first round. Tied at 2. Cross-face by Mejia. Trying to reach across and grab the far wrist. Got a hold of it. But now Penfold with the counter. Now he's got that far wrist and trying to right it here. Now reaches through with the left arm. Grabs a hold of the left wrist. Penfold needs to try to get to his base. The 2 wrestlers nearly out of bounds. Penfold does get to his base, and now scooting him out of bounds is Pablo Mejia, so the wrestlers will head back to the center mat, tied at 2. So Jared Penfold wrestling on the varsity mat here for senior nights here for the senior for Eastmont High School. Tied at 2-2 over with Pablo Mejia. Penfold trying to roll near side. Got to watch himself there. He might roll himself right into near fall points. Penfold battling from the bottom with 10 seconds left here in the first round. Penfold trying to get to his base. It's a lot of work when you have someone that weighs at least 285 pounds, so you're lifting over 500 pounds between yourself and the other wrestler when you're in that down position. That's something people don't think too much about. Well, get to your base. Well, you're not only getting your own 285 up, you're getting the other 285 up too. It's a lot of work. So tied at 2. So we'll head here to the round number 2. And Mejia chooses down. Penfold puts his hands on his back, and Mejia spins. Penfold trying to cover, and he does. And I'll see if he can break his hips down. Up reaching awfully high, and now reaching for a leg is Mejia underneath. He's got both hands on that leg, spinning and crowding and spinning and crowding. Cross face for Penfold, and then to his back it goes, and it's a reversal for Mejia. Mejia reached up, checked his nose real quick to make sure he wasn't bleeding after that collision, and now spins the wrestler right over the top of him. No advantage, no near fall. And we've got blood for Mejia. And so they're going to go take care of that. So we'll run the injury timeout clock here. Brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries. As they tend to him. Let's take a quick 30-second break. I'll catch a break and get some water as well. You're watching Wrestling Tonight here on the NCW Life Channel. We're back after this 30-second timeout. After the injury timeouts, brought to you by Confluence Health. We're back in wrestling here. Tie, 4-2 is our score with Mejia on top of Jared Penfold. Penfold on the bottom here for Eastmont. As Mejia gets that arm barred up behind him. He's going to go for the hammerlock here. Now he's got it barred up. Now reaching for the far side, wants to try to tip him over. He's got that far wrist. Coaching staff across the way for Eastmont hollering for him to the wrestler on top. I think that Mejia was saying that Penfold may have been mouth open on his wrist. Mejia crossface again with 22 seconds left. Eric Strode, our official, watching closely about what's happening on the bottom here. Now we get a timeout called by the official. Stalemate got to be called. Fists bumping together for the official means a stalemate, so that was the call. And now Penfold working from the bottom here, trailing at 4-2 with 9 seconds left in the second period. Mejia shoots the half in with 3 seconds left, working to the side with 1 second left. Probably had a pinning move there if he only had more time. Gets a 2-point near fall. It's 6-2. As Jared Penfold chooses both wrestlers up here to start this third period. Tiring out here, trailing at 6-2, maybe looking for a mistake by Mejia. Mejia pushes on him. Penfold reaches out, grabs a hold, trying to go for a head and arm. Two wrestlers go out of bounds, so they'll head back to the center mat. Penfold again reaching out. Mejia reaches for the head. Penfold reaches for the head. Penfold obviously looking for a throw here with 1:35 left in the match, trailing at 6-2. Mejia got the head and the arm, got his legs broken down. Now the shuck and the cover, and a 2-point takedown for Pablo Mejia. 8-2 on top of Penfold. Crossface, sunk in deep. Penfold reaches up, grabs that wrist with both hands. So Mejia reaches underneath, grabs the wrist. Trying to get that arm hammerlock behind him here. Now the crossface looking for the wrist on the far side with 50 seconds left in the match. Coaching staff hollering for him to try something. Penfold not doing a lot from the bottom here. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a stall warning yet from the official. Looking for the far side cradle possibly is Mejia. Gives up on that idea with 30 seconds left, leading at 8-2 over Jared Penfold. Forfeit coming up next. Another 6 points coming for Eastmont, or for Moses Lake, with a forfeit at 106 pounds. Penfold not doing a lot from the bottom. 10 seconds left in the match. Mejia asking for some help from the official with a stall warning on the bottom wrestler. He looked up to him several times during this match saying, well, what am I supposed to do here? And that's going to be the end of the match. 8-2, the victory here for Pablo Mejia over Jared Penfold. So the win will add to Moses Lake's team score here, as they should get 3 more. They do. 35-19 now the team score, and add 6 more to that, so it's 41-19 with a 106-pound forfeit for Melanie Flores for Moses Lake. So she gets her team 6 points without even having to break a sweat. So now we'll head to 113 pounds. A couple of freshmen. This should be interesting. Jonathan Tanguma for Moses Lake. Jesus Hurtado going for Eastmont.
The next match, 113.
Broadcast brought to you in part by the Windmill Restaurants, also the Wenatchee Racket and Athletic Club. Thanks for joining us here on the NCW Live Channel. Live wrestling tonight, and again back tomorrow night with Eisenhower and Wenatchee. The shot for Moses Lake, and 2-point takedown for Jonathan Tanguma, and right to the back to Hurtado, looking for a pin movement here. 3-point near fall going to be given to Tanguma, and the wrestler's going to bounce. So it's a 5-0 quick lead here for Jonathan Tanguma for Moses Lake. Hurtado working from the bottom here for Eastmont. Tanguma has that arm barred up again. Boy, that is obviously the favorite move for Moses Lake wrestlers throughout this lineup. And you look right to their two coaches, Jaime Garza, Ariel Garza, former state champions here for Moses Lake, and that's what they like to do. He's got the far side, kind of an odd looking cradle here. It was a far side cradle, but then he walked his body around to that side, so he kind of fouled himself up in the process. Minute 4 to go, the wrestler's going to bounce, and so they'll stop the match at that point. 5-0. Hurtado trailing in here, and we've got injury timeout real quickly here. It looks like a little blood on the knee, left knee of Hurtado. So the injury timeout brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries. That's Confluence Health Center. Again, back to wrestling tomorrow night, 7 o'clock right here on the NCW Live Channel for Eisenhower and Wenatchee from Wenatchee High School. Now, we just started this concert series with the Concerts in the Garden at Olney Gardens, that great series put together by RLS Entertainment. We do have another concert tomorrow night. That will follow wrestling. We had wrestling on the schedule before we got the whole thing figured out with the concerts. So we'll have wrestling at 7, the concert at 9. That's tomorrow night right here on the NCW Live Channel. So Hurtado taken care of with the knee. He will do what he can from the bottom here. Just under a minute to go in this first period. 5-0 as Jonathan Tanguma leads it over Jesus Hurtado. One more match to go at 120 pounds. So it looks like Moses Lake going to remain undefeated in Big Nine wrestling. Improved to 5-0 on the season in the Big Nine. 6-1 overall. Eastmont will fall to 1-4 on the season. Crossface for Tanguma. And now we've got another whistle, another stoppage here, and this time it is a bloody nose for Hurtado. So again, an injury timeout brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries. This one might take a little bit to get that nose to stop bleeding, so they'll need to clean the mat as well. So we're going to take a 60-second timeout and come back. You're watching Eastmont and Moses Lake tonight here on the NCW Live Channel. We're back right after this. We thought it would take a little bit longer than it did for that injury timeout. Brought to you by Confluence Health. We're underway here with 15 seconds left in the period. And again, working on the top is Jonathan Tanguma, the freshman for Moses Lake, here at 113 pounds, leading at 5-0 over Jesus Hurtado. Working on the bottom for Eastmont, also a freshman. And that will bring us to the end of our first period with a 5-0 lead for the Moses Lake wrestler. Coming up next, 120 pounds, Ryan Grubb versus German Jimenez for Eastmont at 120 pounds. That's our final match of the night coming up next here on the NCW Live Channel. Tanguma defers, and so Hurtado has his choice. He will choose down, right where the wrestlers were just moments ago to finish up the first round. Now the half in from the far side by Tanguma. Got him turned, but I don't know if long enough for near fall points. He will say a 2-point near fall, as Eric Strode was able to get a count on there. He again, had full Nelson. Can't do that. 1 point going to be given here to Eastmont's Jesus Hurtado for a full Nelson whistled on Jonathan Tanguma. So it's now 7-1. Tanguma on top. And we've got a caution whistled against Eastmont's Hurtado. Didn't quite have his hand on the line or across the line. Those two stripes you see in the center of the mat for the wrestler's position. Another half Nelson here, and pinning opportunity for Jonathan Tanguma. Reaping up on the head, and there's the pin. 1:24 remaining in the second round. The pin for Jonathan Tanguma. And so that makes it a 47-19 score in the team competition. And we head to our final match of the night, as it's 120 pounds Ryan Grubb for Moses Lake and German Jimenez for Eastmont.
Next match, 120.
The original state championships held back at Washington State University starting in 1953. They were held in Pullman until 1964. Moved to the University of Washington in Seattle in 65. Went to Central at Ellensburg in 66, 67. Then Bellingham in 68. Back to Central in 69 and 70. In Richland in 78. Tacoma 79. Seattle 1980. Then back to Central Washington University in Ellensburg in the 80s. That was when they were in separate classifications at separate locations. And then 30 years ago, they moved it to Tacoma, called it MAC Classic, and brought all the classifications together. And here's a tip opportunity and a pin opportunity for Jimenez for Eastmont. I don't see much room there as he has the cradle. He's got the 2-point lead already with a takedown. And looking for the pin here, possibly, and it is. Eric Strode had to look up and peek in between, and it is a pin for German Jimenez. And so the Eastmont night will end on a positive note with a pin by Jimenez. And the final score will be Moses Lake 47, Eastmont 25. So 47-25 the final. We will take a 2-minute break and come back and wrap it up here from Eastmont High School. Coming up next here on the NCW Life Channel. You've been watching live wrestling tonight between the Wildcats and the Chiefs. Again, the Chiefs won at 47-25. We're back after this 2-minute timeout.
One more time around here at Eastmont High School, where the Moses Lake Chiefs have knocked off the Wildcats 47-25 the final here tonight. Started out well for Eastmont as they won the first 4 matches in a row. A 3-0 decision for Luis Arellano, 9-3 decision for Luis Arellano. He wins at 126 pounds, followed by a 13-0 win for Damian Vivanco at 132 pounds. Then it was a 138-pound win for Cesar Sidio, a pin, just a minute 38 remaining in the second round. But it was all Moses Lake after that as they win 9 matches in a row. A pin, technical fall, major decision, pin, 8-2, forfeit, and another pin. That took us all the way to the end here tonight, where Jermaine Jimenez was able to at least get a positive note to finish the night for Eastmont at 120 pounds and win it by pin over Ryan Grubb. So that's the final here tonight. Moses Lake stays unbeaten in Big 9 wrestling at 5-0. Eastmont falls to 1-4. And we'll try to gain some ground as they get ready for districts, regionals, and hopefully a trip for some of these wrestlers to MAC Classic 30 in Tacoma. We're going to have more wrestling coming up tomorrow as Eisenhower plays host to Wenatchee plays host to Eisenhower. We'll have that for you coming up at 7 o'clock tomorrow night right here on the NCW Life Channel as well. For our crew here, for Jessica Medina and for Michael Price and for Becca Freemuth back in the studios. Also thanks to Jay Seabeck for helping getting things set up here. It's been a busy day for yours truly. We had news, we had bowling, and now we have wrestling in the books tonight with Moses Lake knocking off Eastmont 47-25. Thanks for watching wrestling on the NCW Life Channel. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for Eastmont High School Wrestling on the NCW Life Channel. Today's broadcast was brought to you in part by the Wenatchee Racquet and Athletic Club, the Windmill Restaurant, Les Schwab Tires, Confluence Health, TC Slingers, and the Walkabout Grill. We now return to our normal programming on your source for local sports, the NCW Life Channel.